Okay.
Okay. So Rav Huna explains, "Boy, Meres Yikachu Yodai Losin." It's no proof. She was referring to her hands, and her hands are in the world. The Yadayim Isnu Ba'alma. But Pligid Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak. This is a contradistinction to Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, Rav Huna Karav, the Rav Krav Yanai, Rav Yanai Krav Chia, Rav Chia Karebi, the Rabbi Krav Meir, Rav Meir Krav Eliezer ben Yaakov, Rav Eliezer ben Yaakov Krav Akiva to Omar, Adam Makne Davar Shelo Ba'olam. So Rav Nachman holds that all these opinions is that a person can acquire something even if it doesn't exist right now. And we're going to prove each one. Rav Huna Mayi, the Itmar. Hamoicher Peiros Dekel Chaver. A person has a palm tree, and it's now winter time, and I sell you the fruit that's going to come in the summer. Amar Rav Huna, Ad shelo bo lo'olam yachol lachzor bo. Up until the fruits actually show up, he can go back on the deal. Once they're in the world, he can't go back on it. But it's clear that he can make a kinyan on it, even though they weren't here. Rav Nachman says, even when they're in the world, that means they're in the summer, they're growing, you can go back on the deal. That if the buyer grabbed some of the fruits and ate them, we don't make them pay back. So even though it's not a full kinyan, he allows it. What's the sheet of Rav? This field that I'm going to buy. When I buy it, I'll have acquired it from now. It goes retroactive. So even though I don't have it yet. Rav Yanai Krav Chiyad, Rav Yanai Avalei Arisa, Rav Yanai had a sharecropper, Dava Maisile Kanta de Perko Mali Shapta. He had a sharecropper that would work the ground, would bring him a basket of fruit every Friday. It was Friday night, Friday after it was late, he didn't come. He was confident that he was going to show up, but he gave Trumas and Meisers from fruit that he had in his house. So he had an opinion that he could give Meiser even if the original fruits had not come to his hands yet. Also, Rav Chia Merlei Shaper Avadet. Rav Chia said you did right. The Tanya Laman Tilmad Liras Hashem Lakecha Kol Hayamim. Elu Shabbos Yamim Toivim. Refers to Shabbos and Yom Tov. My Yilchus. One halach. Ilem Elasuri Umeichol. That to give Meiser and to eat on Shabbos, but we don't need that. It's only Muktzah Drabonon that you can't give Meiser. You don't need a pasuk to allow that. It's coming to that you can acquire something that doesn't exist in the world. Omer Levahakrin Bechelma, he saw in a dream, Kana Rotzutz, like a stick that is pounded. My love, you never talked to the Chal Misharet Kana Rotzutz that you base your thought on a logic that's not strong. But lo, Hachi Karmelach, Kana Rotzutz lo Yishbor, it means the svar will not be broken. It's a good svar that there is a kinyan on something that doesn't exist in the world yet. What's Rabbi Tanya? Lo tazgir eved el Adonai. Rabbi Yomer b'lokech eved al manas l'shachach rakos v'dav. You buy an eved for the t'nai that you're going to free him. Echidam. Amar of that reason because of late. L'sheke ekacha, when I buy you, when I buy you, it'll retroactive. You'll be your own person from the moment I buy. So, he doesn't own him now. You can see you can make a kinyan on something that doesn't exist in the world. Where do we see Reb Meir? There's not. Be Makudish to me after I convert. After you convert. After I free you. After you free yourself. After your husband dies. After your sister dies. Or or after your Yevama gives you Chlitza. So the Tanakama holds Einim Mekudeshes because you can't do a kinyan on something that doesn't exist in the world.
Yeah, but the guy who's a ger, guy who's recruited, he's not even in the parsha. Nothing to do. It's like zero. The others, maybe there's a possibility, but here, a ger is not even in the parsha, so that doesn't affect him at all.
He's in the parsha an hour from now when he's going to be a convert.
Yeah, but today he's not even in the parsha. He's not Jewish. Nothing applies to him now.
It applies to him because he's kind of her on something that currently is not extant, but it's going to be extant an hour from now. It's exactly the point that they're bringing that Rab Meir, by saying Mekudeshes, holds that you can be kind of something, you can do a kinyan kiddush and chal, even on something that doesn't exist right now.
Yeah, but Ernie, can you be kind on something that's impossible to happen? Like says, I'll marry you when I turn Chinese.
No, we'll see. That you can't do.
So who determines what's possible and what's not?
Like if a person says, I won't sleep for 3 days in a row. So we know there's some things that Chazal will tell us are impossible.
Okay.
Person can't go without sleep for 3 days. So we have a riot from there that, he can't change from being a white person to a Chinese person.
Okay.
But you can do kiddush, but he can convert an hour from now.
Or you can become a man to a woman.
That you can.
Yeah, you can. Rabbi Yezer ben Yaakov afilu imamar peros aruga zut tlushim. That the fruits from this row that are separate, that have been already plucked, you truma al peros aruga mechubar should be truma for fruits that are still connected to the ground. O peros aruga mechubar al peros zut tlushim, or vice versa. Lechashiyaviu shlish v'talshu. Once they've reached a third, this is something like I think what Harold is referring to. If it's grown at least a third, it's likely to continue. Before that, it's not. Right? So that's also a proof that Rabbi Yezer ben Yaakov holds that you could be mocked to something that isn't in the world. Rabbi Kiva Deslan Kodim Shani Yosel Aficha. I am going to take a neder not to benefit from any future earnings. Ein tzarich lahafer. The Baal does not have to be made for such a neder of his wife. Rabbi Kiva Omer Yofer Shema Tadif Alav Yosem and Aroila. Maybe she'll bring home much more than the ksuba allows, so the neder will have a chalois on the extra. She hasn't earned it yet. So Rabbi Kiva holds you can be makna something shelo balo oil. When we said that the 1/8 can give testimony about a woman's husband in China, can the same thing happen? A woman was married, her husband died, and then Shimon, the brother, is waiting to do Yibum. And an aide, 1/8 comes and says, no, he died. So, and there's no other brother. So now she can go marry Lashuk. Can we rely on the 1/8? Now, what's the svara? Time of day echad. Why do we believe 1/8 about the husband in China? Because the milsa David leglui lo meshakir. Because something that's going to be revealed, an 8 is not going to lie. V'achanami lo meshakir. Now here as well, an 8 is not going to tell a lie if he knows it's going to be revealed. Oh, Dilma, time of day echad. Why is 1/8 believed? Mishum de'i daiko minsaba. A woman's going to be very careful before she gets married to another man. She's going to do her own investigation about her husband dying. She's careful. But hacha, here by a Yevama, a woman knows her brother-in-law. Kivin de zimin de rachmanale. So she likes him. Maybe lo daiko minsaba. Maybe she won't be as diligent in her investigation and will marry quickly. So based on that, maybe we shouldn't believe in Eid Echad by Yevama. Amar Rav Sheshes Tanisua. It's our Mishnah. Amar Lam Meis B'neich They told her that your son died, and v'achar kach meis balei. V'nisyaman, then she went ahead and had yibum. V'achar kach amru lo chiluf hadvar. Then they told her no. The husband died first, and then the child. But then there was no yibum allowed. They say the brother who married her has to divorce her. V'avlad rishon v'achron mamzer. And the children are mamzeri because it was eishasach. Now, what's the case? He lema trei utrei. That first there were Adim that said that he died, and then two other Adim say he did not die. But my chazis to some chasani smochani, then we shouldn't have done anything. It's like we cancel each other out. So why should we force a divorce? The odd mamzer, it shouldn't be a vadei mamzer, it should be a suffix mamzer. We don't know for sure because there's two. We're talking about two groups of Adim that are machish each other, it's not clear what the real facts of the case are. Maybe the Tana is not careful in the word mamzer and suffix mamzer. Gemara says that can't be. In the second case, Arishon mamzer v'achron eno mamzer. Tana is very careful in his language. It's not two Adim and two Adim. The first Edus was an Echad that said that he died. And then the time it also betrayed Akhoshe. Two other Adim said no, he's alive. And if it wasn't for that, Halavachim Emini would be believed, even though it's a Yevama. So that's the Gemara's proof. There's no shaila. She herself, if she comes back and says, my Yavim died, she's believed. It's not. Tinose. If she comes back from China and she says, my husband died, she can get married. And it says, Meis Bali Tisyabim. The Yibum can occur as well. What we're talking about is to allow the lady in waiting to marry without chlitza. Because they say, oh, the brother died. My time of day, the svara of believing one aid is because information that's going to come to light, a person's not going to lie. And Hachanami Lo Meshakir here is the same thing. Or maybe the svara, we said that we allow a woman to marry based on one aid is because she's going to do her own investigation. The misnahi, the sanule. Here, she's not going to be careful because she hates him, doesn't want to marry him. The moment she heard testimony that the guy died, she runs the judge and marries somebody else. So what's the halacha? Let's look in the Rambam. That a woman is, if she's told that her husband died, she can be misyabim by a brother based on that edus. If an aide comes and says Shimon died, she can marry to the outside world. And the edus is miskabelas completely. Like the same edus that's accepted to say that her husband died. The Ramah brings the Rosh that an Eid Echad is not believed by a Heter Yevama. But B'Shas Adchat, you can be Mekel. So that's a very interesting halacha regarding the Eid Echad by Yevama, as opposed to Eid Echad by a husband, because we can see there's different svaras as to why she might either accept the Eidus or reject it without careful investigation.
Would we also say that if she comes and says, my husband died and he has no brothers, do we accept that as well? We say
Yes,
that, same thing.
yes, of course. There's no yibum there.
No, so I'm saying, but we believe her to say my husband had no brothers, that would be fortunate to go Khalisa.
That's a different question, what you're asking. About the testimony, whether whether the guy had brothers or not. I don't know whether.
I mean, it could. I'm sure it happened
rely
after
on
the war,
rely on the woman to say that her husband died.
right?
So it depends if there's a chazaka, whether he had brothers or not. If there's a chazaka that there were brothers, she probably would not be believed to say that the brothers are dead. Because we believe the woman regarding her husband, not regarding the side issue of whether there are brothers or not.
I mean, I'm sure it happened after the war. A lot of cases too. There are big problems with that.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, everybody have a great Shabbos.
Shabbos.